All right, here we go. We're going to do a quick refresher on how to hook up for a recovery of refrigerant. So, service valves down here on the unit. I've got my wonderful 4-port set of gauges. Okay, with anything, you always hook up your high and low side like normal. Okay, so what I'm going to do, right, you hook up your high and low like normal. So, what do you do when you hook your high and low up like normal? Well, you have your third port. If you don't have the 4-hose set, you have your 3-hose set, right? So you take your yellow hose, regardless, and you're going to hook it up to your recovery machine. So we're going to take, if it comes out of the system, it goes into the recovery machine, and the machine just pumps it out. Okay, it's just like a compressor. It's got a suction and a discharge. So if it goes in the machine, it's got to come out. And you take your outlet hose, your spare hose that everybody that does a recovery is going to need. And when it goes out of the equipment, it's going to go into the tank. And that is how it's going to go, right? Both lines hooked up at the unit. It's going to go through your manifold set of gauges, out the yellow hose, into the recovery equipment, out of the recovery equipment, and then it's going to be stored in your tank until you either recharge the system or reclaim the refrigerant. I'm not sure. So I've done this without power, just a real simple thing. The only thing you have to do, once you've got it all hooked up from the unit all the way to the tank, you are going to turn the valve to the tank on, turn the valves for the recovery machine on, and open your valves on your gauges, and then turn the machine on so it's powered. And that will start the recovery process. When you're done, always close your gauges first. And you can close the tank or the valves on the machine after that, but maintain system integrity. So that'll be that. Quick little video. Now, what do you do once you have all the refrigerant recovered and you have replaced any leaking component, bad compressor, what have you? Well, now you pressure test to make sure that you don't have any leaks in the system from where you just use your torches. Once you have confirmed with using dry nitrogen as an aid to pressurize the system, you let that unit sit for a while, 30 minutes, an hour, the longer the better in my opinion, and then you release the nitrogen out once you're satisfied where it's at. But you remember that we have to pull, oh my goodness, oh so many microns, right? We have to pull the magic number, right? Textbook perfect 500 microns, and we use that via a good old vacuum pump. Look at my shadow too, it even knows, right? So how do we hook up the vacuum pump? Well, you remove the recovery tank, you remove the recovery machine, and you take the yellow hose off of the recovery machine, okay? That yellow hose, if you have a 3-port set, you can use the yellow hose and connect it to said vacuum pump. You will, of course, have to use a micron gauge in line with another hose so you can isolate it from the pump. If you're fortunate to have, looking right here, right? If you're fortunate to have a 4-hose set, then this larger hose, it is much bigger than the other ones. It's like a 1/2-inch size hose, right? This is my 4th port, and I will use it to do a vacuum on the system, okay? Most vacuum pumps, you come down here, son, you can see here that this vacuum pump has 2 size openings. If I'm using the standard 3-hose set, I've got a 1/4 inch connection. If you are fortunate enough to have the 4-port set with the larger hose, then you're going to cap that 1/4 inch connection off, and you're going to put your larger hose on the larger opening, of course. And then we'll just turn everything on, and we'll pull down to the appropriate number of microns. But nevertheless, we always hook up our red and blue hose to the system like normal, and that is it.